Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Penta Hybrid. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not new, all the blah blah blah. I'm not wearing any pants. I just wanted you to know that. Most people on YouTube don't wear pants. I am wearing a shirt though, so you're not going to get any nipple action here, so you calm your shits. A little bit of a channel update, Penta prepared a Penta thing going on here. I was planning on doing like an Inside the Penta mine since I haven't done one of those in 16 years. But this one, Prepared to Penta is more of like a channel update kind of a video, whereas Inside the Penta Mind is more of me just rambling for a little while. So this is going to be kind of a mix of them. I have updates, and I think I might just convert Prepare to Penta into a combination of both of those series, so that I don't have 2 or 3 different vlog series going at the same time. Still trying to rework the channel after turning off Let's Plays and flipping that switch. It's kind of going through a lot of stuff on the channel, trying to find a format. And so that's the first thing I want to talk about, was the future of the channel. And this channel isn't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So the people that are getting all like, oh God, don't go anywhere, you just calm down, have a drink, sit down, watch some Friends. I don't know. Do what you got to do. I'm not going anywhere. I just have a lot of figuring out to do right now, because Let's Plays were always easy to fall back on. And I think that's one of the main reasons I stopped them, was because it wasn't like fun anymore. It was just a way to get a video to you guys. It's a lot easier to just sit down and play a game for 4 hours and get 8 hours, or get 8 episodes worth of footage for the next week, than it is to spend 20 hours working on a single video that I have to do every week, which is Listitis, which I just put up the top 10 Undertale songs video. It's getting a mediocre response. I didn't expect that one to get a whole huge response like some of my other ones have, like the Metroidvania game ones, gotten viewed and liked by a lot of people. The shocking moments in video games a couple weeks ago, that one's got a lot more attention. But this one, I was just, I'm surprised the Final Fantasy one didn't get more attention than it did, because that's a hot topic. A lot of people like that topic, but the people that did watch it liked it, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. The Undertale song one was really easy to make comparatively to the other ones that I make. Like, it was only like a 4 or 5 hour project, because I had all the episodes of Undertale to dig through already, so I didn't have to re-record anything. I just dug through the episodes for footage. Same with the next episode. However, I had to do a lot of work on the next one, which will be coming up next week, and I'm just going to announce it now for you guys. That is going to be another Undertale one to cap off my Undertale Let's Play. It's going to be the top 10 Undertale boss fights, and that one is probably one of my favorite ones I've done for a long time. The other reason I'm really upset that the Undertale video isn't getting all the attention is because the introduction, not the Listitis intro, but the intro to the actual list, took me a long time to make. Same with the next week one, or this coming week one, it's took me a lot of time to do those videos, or the opening of the video anyway. The whole Undertale format with the fight and everything. But as far as the future of the channel, Listitis is going to be the main ship, that sails this channel onward, going forward, as it always really has been, except for when I took it off the docket because I was frustrated at one thing or another. And so that's what we're going to talk about here and now. I have a lot of lists that I have currently in process of writing. I'm always open to more ideas, and I love getting your guys' ideas, whether or not they turn into an actual list or not. That's up to me to decide whether or not if it's a good list to write, if it's going to be too hard for me to write. Like, there's some lists that I can't write because they're just too difficult to write. There's some lists that I could write, but it would feel less good for me. But I always feel free to suggest it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, you guys, for this next little bit, is put it down there. Go down to that comment little box that says add a comment or whatever, or write a comment, a little box down there. It's like a little thing. Click on it, and then just type out top 10, whatever you guys want me to do. I will take your suggestions. I will put them in my Word document that I have on my computer, and I will go through them, and I will write a list for it, and if I feel good about it, I'll make a video on it. I don't know how many episodes are going to be in Volume 3, because now that Let's Plays aren't a thing, I have more time to focus on them, so it might be a full 50. I don't know. I got a late start on it, so I might not make it to 50, but if I make it to 30, I'll be happy, because that's usually what my volumes are. I want to know what you guys want to see, because it's one thing to write my own lists and hope that people want to watch it, but it's another thing to have somebody suggest something, because that means that there is somebody out there who's willing to watch that. And so Comment down below, letting me know what you want me to write for the top 10 lists. Top 5 lists I'm okay with doing because I'm open to those now. I have a couple that I'm writing right now. I have the list that I'm not going to spoil, but it has something to do with television. Not about television like TV shows or anything. It's about video games. It's just about TV as well. You might be able to guess it, but if you can't, you'll just have to wait. However, let me know. I want to know what you guys want to see. I want to know what you guys want to see. Moving on to the next thing. Penta Perspective, my gaming critique videos that I do. I've done 4 so far. 2 of them have gotten huge responses. The Fallout one, most notably, is one of my most viewed videos that's not listitis. It's gotten a huge response, and comments, likes, all this kind of stuff. I've had it shared on a couple of different sites. You know, I think Bethesda retweeted it because they, you know, whatever, but might have just been a representative for them retweeting. But anyway, it was one of my more popular videos when it first came out because it hit right on the nail, and everybody was watching it, and it's like almost 1,000 views so far, and it's just continuing to climb. My tips and tricks series, I just want to make mention of the Enter the Gungeon video. Thank you guys so much for watching it. Thank you guys, everybody who's watched it. If you're here and you watched that video, thank you. Like, that video just came out of nowhere. I was playing the game, recording it for the Penta Perspective that I was going to do for the critique video on it. And I was like, you know what? This is such a complicated game, and it's hot off the shelf right now. A lot of people are playing it. Let's make a tips and tricks video for it. I haven't done one of those in ages, so I just decided to do it, and it's climbing in views. Everybody's watching it. Everybody's liking it. Everybody's, you know, enjoying it. So thank you for that. But anyway, back to Penta Perspective. I've only done 4 of them so far, and that's because I had this idea a while ago that after I played a game on the channel, I would do a Penta Perspective on it, and believe me, that was the plan. I had both the Axiom Verge and Darkest Dungeon videos done and ready, but I threw them away because it was right after I got done playing it, and I feel like that is the wrong place to do a critique video or not the wrong place to do a critique video. It makes me feel like it's the wrong place on the channel to do a critique video. So I planned on uploading them at some point, but I deleted them because my opinion on Axiom Verge changed than what I said in the video, and it was all conflicty. And Darkest Dungeon, the video was just, I didn't like the way that I did the commentary in it, and so I wanted to redo them at some point, and I haven't gotten around to it, and I might not do those. I may though, don't quote me on that, but as of right now, I've got 2 that I'm in the process of writing. The first one is Stardew Valley, so you guys can expect that one coming in the next couple weeks. I'm currently working on the video as it is. It might be in the next week. I don't know. It depends on how crazy I want to do the video. Like, I already got a cool little introduction for it, and so I'm happy with that. But the rest of that is just a gaming critique video. It's me playing a game and commenting on what I think is bad about it, what I think is good about it, if you should buy it, if you shouldn't buy it, if you should buy it, why should you buy it, blah, 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 blah. I'm basically being a rip-off Total Biscuit, and I'm perfectly okay with that because people watch him way more than me, so I can do whatever I want. Freedom, bitches. Anyway, Stardew Valley is the first one that I want to do, and then the next one is actually like an arcadey platformer combat-y kind of game. I don't know what you would call it, but it's Super House of Dead Ninjas. It was by the guys at Adult Swim, and it was one of my favorite games when it first came out, and I played the shit out of it, and I recently picked it back up shortly before starting up Dark Souls 3, and played the hell out of it, and I kind of wanted to do a little video on it, giving you guys the critique on it, because games like that, a lot of people only play for 5 minutes and then leave it alone, but the game's got so much more depth than that. And so we'll see what happens when we get to that. The next topic, as I just mentioned, is we're going to spend the last couple minutes of this video talking about Dark Souls 3. So Dark Souls 3 came out in, was it 2 weeks ago? Man. I've been putting up a few videos here and there of it. I got another one in the works right now. This game, it's everything I wanted it to be. It's everything I wanted it to be. It's everything the community wanted it to be. There are a lot of people out there, you know, condemning it because, oh, it's not, it's trying too hard to be like the first one, and so therefore it sucks. And like, no, focus. You know, there's people complaining for this and that. A lot of people don't like how they focused a lot more on the lore and the story, and my rebuttal to that is, this is the last one in this series. It's the last Dark Souls game, so they have to tie a lot of shit up. And they're not forcing it down your throats. It's a lot more noticeable than it was in the first and second game, but they're not forcing it down your throats except for maybe 1 or 2 parts in the game, which we'll all discuss when I do the Penta Perspective on Dark Souls 3, which I plan on doing once I play it to completion. I haven't beaten it yet because honestly I haven't had a lot of time to play it, but I'm very close. I know I'm towards the end. I'm currently trying my hand at the Nameless King and the King of Storms boss fight in the Archdrake, or the Dragon Peak. It's a very easy fight, but I'm impatient because that area made me rage harder than I had the whole game. The whole Archdragon Peak level was a nightmare. And that's kind of the theme with Dark Souls 3, is that the mobs and the bosses and the mobs and the level design and the traps and the little tweaks here and there, not twerks, we're not twerking, no twerking here, not on this channel. The little tweaks and stuff that you find throughout the level design makes the game a lot harder than the boss fights, because realistically, if I think back, I put up the video of Pontiff Sullivan. He took me 2 tries. It was a 2-shot. Awesome boss fight. I wish he was harder. I wish I could have felt the rage boil up inside me for 2 hours trying to fight him, but it was like 2-shot. Champion Gundyr was a 2-shot. It was like Aldrich was a 1-shot. Like, there were so many boss fights. Yorm was a 2-shot because I figured out, I won't give away a secret to his boss fight, but that boss fight is really hard if you don't do something very specific. And it was like, oh, well, it just gives you the answer right away if you pay attention enough. The game, man, the game. First of all, gorgeous game. Second of all, incredibly good mechanics. It's exactly what we wanted. It's all the good shit about 1, all the good shit about 2. It's not all the good shit about 1. It's most of the good shit about 1, all the good shit about 2, without the bad shit about 2, and then with a little Bloodborne thrown in there, which I never played Bloodborne, but I watched enough of it. I watched Mr. Co-Carnage stream it. I watched Mr. Ezekiel III stream it. I watched a lot of people stream it. JP McDaniel stream it. All good buddies of mine that I like watching stream. All big people that I've been supported to for a long time. And, but Bloodborne has that fast, offensive, vicious aggression combat and gameplay because you don't have a shield. Dark Souls 3 adapted that. The game plays a lot faster combatively than the previous 2 games because you take your finger off the right trigger for 1 second, you're dead. Like, you're caught in a combo or you're mobbed or ambushed. Like, your dodges don't, get through all the time. Get through all the time because you're getting wombo comboed and bullshit. The game is fantastic, and I only have good things to say about it. There's a couple of bad things, but I'll save those because there are really big points that I want to make on the game, but I'll save those for the official video, critiquing it and doing the Penta perspective on it. But as far as I want to talk about is Dark Souls 3, if you are even remotely interested in the series, but Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 were inaccessible for you, I'd say start 3. But at the same time, I say be warned, and maybe you don't want to, because personally, I think 3 is harder. Way harder than 2 and 1. 1 was hard because it was your first experience. Like, you were a soul, well, for many people, you were a Souls virgin at that point. And you were like, oh, the game, I heard it was hard, and Asylum Demon drops in front of you, KO'd. This guy drops in front of you, KO'd. Kicked off a cliff, rolled off a cliff, freaking guillotine swinging, knock you off a cliff, pendulum, knock you off the cliff. Like, it was brutal, but that's because you were learning the game. Now that if you're an aged Souls veteran like myself, 3 isn't hard as much as it is challenging because it's learning new stuff, learning new mechanics, learning new bosses, and it plays so much faster. And so if you are interested in the series, I say start at 1, but you definitely want to play 3 if you're interested in the series. If you are not interested in these games at all, don't play it, of course. But if you played 1 but didn't like 2, jump to 3. Honestly, jump right to 3 because 3 is better than 2. 2 wasn't a bad game, and if you guys really want to see my official opinion on 2, I talk about it in so many other videos. You can watch my top 10 games of 2014, and I talk about it in there. I was extremely disappointed in Dark Souls 2, but it was a fantastic game. It was my number 3 spot for 2014. And so you can be disappointed in a game and still love it that much, because if you're a huge fan of a game, you pick out those negative things about it so much more than if you don't like a game. If you don't like a game, you just say that game sucks and you walk away. But if you truly love a game, look at Fallout 4 last year. I'm a massive Fallout fanboy, and I picked that game apart Watch the Penta perspective video on there. I ripped that game to shreds. And that's only because I loved it that much. I only love that game that much and I care about it that much, so I ripped it to shreds. And that's what I'm going to do with 3. Dark Souls 3 has a lot of bad stuff about it that I don't like, but as a whole, it is the best in the franchise. My favorite in the franchise is still 1, and that's because that was my first experience, and you can only have that one time. But as far as the best in the franchise, even counting Bloodborne, but I haven't played it, so I can't really toss it in the mix, but from watching Bloodborne, I would say that Dark Souls 3 is just a toe up from that and just a toe up from Dark Souls 1. With Dark Souls 2 probably falling below the rest of them at the bottom, but if we're counting Demon Souls, I haven't played Demon Souls. I keep getting told I need to go back and play that, but I don't want to buy a PlayStation for anything. It's like I don't want to buy a Nintendo Wii. It's just like, why? Why? I'm not going to spend $500 for one game for a 60-hour experience. But anyway, that's my rambling on Dark Souls 3. That's my rambling on this channel update for all the stuff that I said. Big key points to take away from this video. If you're still here, obviously I love you and you're awesome. If you're still here, remember, comment down below. Comment down for everything. Have one line be a top 10 that you want me to write. Have the second line be what games, if you've seen a game that I played on the channel that you want to do a Penta perspective of, like a critique video, maybe Undertale, maybe Axiom, maybe Darkest Dungeon. Isaac I could do one on. I think I might want to do one on that. If you're interested in that, put that in your second line. And then your third line, if you've played Dark Souls 3, what do you think of it? What is your honest opinion of the game? And if you haven't, are you interested in playing it? I want all kinds of comments down there. And if you don't comment, I'm going to cry. Catch you later.